Beer here back in the Fantasy Bar. 6 of my favorite plays for the Tuesday 2-game NBA playoff slate on FanDuel and Draftkings, including some of my favorite value plays, some guys I think are vastly mispriced, and what stud I think you got to cram in your lineups. Who is it? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. NBA edition, Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Good to be back here once again talking NBA playoff action on FanDuel and Draftkings, back with 6 of my favorite plays on today's slate. Hope everybody had a great weekend out there. NFL back in our lives, but we turn our attention to the NBA here, guys. Before we get started, make sure you click that thumbs up button on YouTube. As I always say, that's the tip jar here in the Fantasy Bar. Greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're doing a bunch of videos on all different sports. So make sure you get notified when those videos are coming out. And head over to RotoGrinders.com/beer. Special offer for you guys, $5 off a Core 4 premium subscription that's going to cover you for NBA, NFL, MLB, and PGA Tour golf, all under one umbrella. Our Lineup HQ tool makes life very easy on you. Build you 1 to 150 lineups in a matter of moments. So special offer there. Go take advantage of it while you can, only for you guys here in the Fantasy Bar. All right, let's talk some NBA hoops. Should be a fun one here. Interesting dynamic. We have a game 1. We also have a game 7 on the books. We're going to start in the Eastern Conference in game 1 with Marcus Smart of the Celtics. Now, we talk about a guy playing a ton of minutes. I mean, we can toss out that crazy game where he played 50 minutes. Outside of that, I mean, let's take a look. 43 minutes in that last game against Toronto, 35, 41, 37, 39. This guy is playing an absolute ton of minutes right now, and always a guy we know you don't necessarily need his scoring for him to get there fantasy-wise, but he's given us that as well. I mean, he took 30 shots in those last 2 games against Toronto, so we get a nice floor just with his ability to rack up blocks, steals, assists, things like that. But if he's going to be shooting more, scoring more, that's where we're going to start seeing that ceiling that we saw in game 6 when he went for 60 DraftKings points. So we get a solid floor, we get a nice ceiling. The price still fair, under 7,000 on both sites here. So the smart play tonight, getting Marcus Smart in those DFS lineups. All right, moving on, we're going to continue with some value at the center position, Ivica Zubac of the Clippers. So the Clippers, we know they got Montrezl Harrell back, but it's been Zubac that's playing the majority of the minutes here. They just need him against NIKOLA JOKIC. They need that size in there. So this guy's going to continue to play 20, 25, upwards of 30 minutes for this Clippers team. And I think a lot of people going to look at the numbers here for Zubac. They're kind of boring, kind of ho-hum, more cash game type numbers here. I get that. We want the ceiling. We want the upside in tournaments. I still think that's there. I mean, let's just look at the rebounds alone. This guy has pulled down 9 or more rebounds in 4 of the 6 games of the series so far, and has not shot the ball very well. So if that starts to turn around here, which eventually it's going to, and I think it does here tonight, those numbers are going to trend upwards into the 30s. And at 4,800 on DraftKings, 4,700 on FanDuel. If we're getting into the 30s, these are the kind of things we need to win tournaments. Get that 6, 7x upside. He provides that. You look around at who can give you a ceiling at these prices. He's the guy that's going to fill the bill here. So I like this matchup for him. I think the shooting turns around. The rebounds we know are going to be there. The minutes will be there as well. Zubac, way too cheap, in my opinion, under 5K. All right, let's stay with the Clippers for our next pick. We're going to spend some money here on shooting guard, Paul George. So we're finally starting to get Paul George that we know and love. But early on in the playoffs, things were ugly. The guy can't hit shots. Everyone's telling me he's washed, he's done, this guy's terrible. But we're finally starting to get that guy that we know. 48 or more DraftKings points now in 3 of the last 4 games. And it's not just the scoring. This guy is contributing across the entire stat sheet each and every night. 6 rebounds in each of the last 2 games. 5 steals in that last game. The assists have been there as well. And we know he can get some block shots. So starting to hit some shots. The shooting percentage still under 50%. But this guy's taking upwards of 20 shots in every single game. We know he's going to play a ton of minutes. The upside has been there. The fantasy production has been there. And the price still kind of lagging behind. So it's a tough choice. Can you play George and Kawhi? Sure, you can play them both. I love Kawhi as well. But a Game 7 scenario, these are the 2 guys that are going to have the ball in their hands the most. Give me the cheaper of the 2 here. As much as I love Kawhi, I think it's Paul George I want here tonight in my DFS lineups. All right, let's go back to game 1 in the East. Let's go to the Miami side of things. One of my favorites, shooting guard, Tyler HERRO. So if you're playing over on FanDuel, you're not going to be able to get all these guys in a lineup. This is the third shooting guard we gave you, and that's never the intention of the six-pack. We're trying to build you a player pool. Now on DraftKings, you can definitely get creative, move some guys around, and make all these pieces fit if you want. But HERRO's a guy I definitely want in my player pool. I mean, the upside that he gives you at these prices, we kind of talked about it with Zubac. Same kind of feeling here with Tyler HERRO. A guy just taking a bunch of shots for this Miami team. 10 or more shots now in 9 of the last 10 games, and really playing with a lot of confidence. A guy that's made some big shots. The stage is just not big enough here for this kid. The youngest guy on the floor in every single game just continues to deliver daggers. I mean, single-handedly almost took out the Bucks with some of those big shots he made down the stretch here. So we know he's going to get big minutes. We know he's going to be in there in closing time in a tight game. So I know this matchup difficult against these Boston guards, but a kid playing with a lot of confidence here. Price still too cheap, in my opinion, and the upside's there. He gets hot. Definitely can go over 30 fantasy points and crush these salaries. Going to continue to roll out some Tyler HERRO. All right, let's stay with Miami. One more play for me there with small forward, power forward, Jae Crowder. Now, Jae Crowder just kind of fills the bill here of this series. You know, you think about a Miami-Boston series, just physical, defensive, grinded out type basketball. That fits Jae Crowder to a T. Also fits Marcus Smart, who we talked about earlier, but just a guy I think will play big minutes in this series, and a guy that's salary just has not gone up high enough, especially over on FanDuel at over 5,100. But even on DraftKings, this guy continues to outproduce his salary, has done it in each of the last 4 games, and a lot of that, the three-point shooting. This guy's jacking up a ton of threes. But 4 more three-pointers, man, in each of the last 4 games against the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't think that role changes here for Jae Crowder. Went over 30 DraftKings points in each of those games as well. So they're going to need his hustle here. They're going to need his energy here. And again, FanDuel 5,100, too cheap. Even on DraftKings, under 6,000. Love this spot for Jae Crowder here in Game 1 against the Celtics. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play on the Tuesday NBA slate. But before we do that, guys, we're going to continue our Beast of the Night contest, free to play. A thank you to you guys. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video and let me know fantasy points on DraftKings for my Beast of the Night. The closest guess will win themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Core 4 Premium or a free RotoGrinders t-shirt. So let's take a look. Who am I cramming in all my lineups tonight? You know him as the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time, and normally we spread out the positions here, but I'm going to double up at the center position here on DraftKings. I'm going NIKOLA Jokic, tonight's Beast of the Night. Now, I could have gone some other ways here, but I always go with the guy that I'm going to play the most as the Beast of the Night, and for me, that's NIKOLA Jokic here. I mean, you look at the prices here. Yes, the prices come up from where we started, but 10,000 seems about right on Jokic during the regular season when he's not playing as many minutes as he is now. We know Denver's rotations can be very frustrating, but playoff Jokic getting a ton more run, more usage, more everything here without more salary. So why are we not taking advantage of this and locking him in every single lineup? And this guy's approaching 60 DraftKings points a game against this team after an ugly Game 1. Has really turned it around, been very consistent, shown us that floor, given us that ceiling here. And the Clippers, as much as I like Zubac as a DFS play, he is not a guy that's going to slow down NIKOLA Jokic. HERRO is undersized. He's been relegated to about 15 minutes per night here. And it being Game 7, expect to see the ball in Jokic's hand even more here tonight. They shocked the world in Game 6. I think they can do it again here tonight. Why? Because NIKOLA Jokic comes out and has a monster game, making him easily my favorite play on the night and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that wraps up here in the Fantasy Bar for Tuesday, talking NBA hoops on FanDuel and DraftKings. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, hit me up in the comment section. Don't forget, let me see your guess on fantasy points on DraftKings for NIKOLA Jokic for your shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Beermakersfan. And guys, if you haven't done it yet, please hit that thumbs up button on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut. Best of luck here tonight, guys. We'll be back with more videos this week. NFL Week 2 video coming out shortly. Keep an eye on that. Enjoy the hoops tonight, guys, and good luck.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist